What only exists because humans are dumb. This is for external use only. Put Clorox container down. Warnings on hammers saying this object can cause damage if you strike yourself. Step 1. Hit someone else with hammer. Step 2. Act outraged discovering it causes harm without being warned against. Step 3. Sue company to your heart's content. Step 4. Profit. Bonus points if you hit someone you don't like. I know a lot of people say warning labels, but let's be honest. Warning labels have probably never stopped stupid people from doing stupid things. They're just there to protect corporations from getting lawsuits. But the most ridiculous warnings only exist because some idiot actually did that stupid thing. They're there to protect the company, sure, but they wouldn't be necessary if the dumb thing hadn't already happened in an earlier iteration. Flammable tags on underwear. Some of us need that warning label. Licks finger and touches ass SS's. My ex was a flaming asshole, so I'm sure he needed the reminder. A buddy of mine has to wear fire-rated undergarments. He works with high voltage. One of the most common infractions at his job is people wearing Under Armour during cold weather. So those labels make it easier for some people to shop. Let's not get on a tangent about the topic of TV ads for prescription medication, but recently, last couple years, they started adding a sentence in the commercials. Do not take Trevexica if you are allergic to Trevexica. What happened to make that a thing that they need to mention now? Why the hell would anyone knowingly continue to put a drug in their body if they knew or realized they were allergic to it? Answer: people are stupid. I get that it's to protect them legally, but it's mind-blowing to me that it needs to be said even to do that. The part that gets me is that the statement provides no new information. For example, I would say don't eat Snickers if you are allergic to peanuts. I wouldn't say don't eat Snickers if you are allergic to Snickers. Exactly. My mom is allergic to sulfur-based medicines, so it would make much more sense to point things like that out, like why it's even a thing. In Europe there's a line like read the leaflet or consult doctor before taking it required in every medicine ad, because European countries only allow ads for non-prescription medicine, aspirin, cough syrup and such, while the US allows ads for prescription drugs, which can have severe side effects even without allergies. The companies that get you out of timeshares, also MLMs. My Bill has been doing MLM scams for 15 years now. He has a dual masters. Crazy. As in he has been successfully scamming people with MLMs or he has been getting scammed by MLMs? Some really strange laws, like handling fish suspiciously, can end you up in jail in the UK. Wearing this costume does not enable you to fly. Tag on a Superman Halloween costume. Jerry Seinfeld had this joke. I liked his follow-up. I want to meet the person dumb enough to think that this might make him fly, yet smart enough to think to check the instructions. Pretty sure they have a warning label so that stupid people can't sue them for not putting a label. 'Cause stupid people blame others for their stupidity. Do the Clark Kent costume glasses have a tag with, wearing these glasses will not protect your identity? The Darwin Awards. My favorite is the gasoline truck driver. When they get back to the yard, they would fill the tanks with water to evacuate the leftover fumes. It was late at night and he wanted to see how full his tanks were, but he didn't have a flashlight to see into the tank. But he did have a cigarette lighter. You can see where this goes. A friend of mine did this when we were about 13. He lit a match over the opening of his motorcycle fuel tank. He once had straight hair. My favorite is the 4 drunk friends trying to smoke a raccoon out of a large pipe. They start a small 4 and can't get the smoke to go into the pipe due to it lying horizontal. They get the idea to lift and tilt the pipe, but set the fuel can next to it. The can falls over and detonates, flinging the 2 at the far end of the pipe, killing the 2 at the fireplace end of the pipe, and firing a flaming raccoon about 200 yards into the distance. Unconfirmed, but enjoyable. Several warning markings like don't put your cat inside your microwave. What the hell kind of cat did you buy that came with a warning label? Right, mine only says hand wash only, not dishwasher safe. I think an old woman once sued a microwave company because it didn't say that she couldn't put her dog in there. Well, she had done it and then the dog had died. So that's why such things are there. My grandpa actually went on a call for the same exact thing. She tried to dry off her dog after a bath. Must have happened a lot when microwaves were first introduced. About half of what a hospital does. Of course the side that deals with sickness isn't there, because we're dumb, but the part that deals with glass bottles being stuck inside anuses is there, because we're dumb. I'd argue half of what the emergency room at a hospital does, but not half of what the entire hospital does. A hospital does a lot of things outside of the ER. Most warning labels may cause anal leakage. Is this a box of old age you are selling? The belief of a flat earth. This is by far my favorite conspiracy just to laugh at just cause why? Who would lie about that? What is there to gain from people thinking the earth is actually a globe? A sense of meaning in life. If they feel like they possess secret knowledge others do not have, it may give them a feeling of purpose. It likely also works as a form of neo-tribalism, or they can find a sense of belonging in a community of flat earthers. This is perhaps the best answer for most conspiracy theorists. They tend to be people who haven't accomplished much, but can find superiority in the comfort that they know the truth and everyone else is too dumb to see it. I also read an article once that claimed it gives overly complex explanations to give comfort to people who find that small, random events may have large-scale overarching consequences that could upset their concept of stability and safety. Like the JFK assassination. My grandfather once said something offhandedly that really summed up these nut jobs. You never meet a conspiracy theorist that only believes in just one conspiracy. 9/11, Sandy Hook, COVID, etc. If you tend to think every news story is a conspiracy, the common denominator might be that you're an idiot. Exactly. A huge scientific organization found out the Earth is truly a disk, but the masses should know. What? Freaking why? My cousin believes this conspiracy theory because the Bible says Jesus went up on a mountain and saw his entire kingdom. I guess the dude had eyes 1,000 times better than a hawk. People are so profoundly stupid. The Emoji Movie. Having watched it, I firmly believe it was the product of Columbia Pictures going through Pixar's trash and finding an initial concept for Inside Out. That's also my exact theory for Riverdale borrowing a scrap Sabrina plot, but nobody here enjoys any CW shows. Sabrina and Archie are in the same universe though, so it kind of makes sense. Zero tolerance policies. Zero tolerance policies are not about the welfare of the kids. They're about abdicating the administrators from the expectation of good judgment and the accountability that entails. You can't get in trouble for making the wrong decision if there are no decisions. Anti-vaxxers. If only all those children in iron lungs back in the 40s knew about lavender oil or water homeopathic remedies. If you forget to take your homeopathic medicine, will you overdose? Measles. In 2000, measles was nearly eradicated, but then anti-vaxxers brought it back to popularity. There was this random anti-vaxxer who literally said, instead of vaccines we should take a bit of the virus and inject it. They've devolved so far they're starting to loop around again. When you anti-vax so hard you accidentally invent vaccines. Curb Your Enthusiasm theme starts playing. The warning on my dad's old motorcycle saying this is a motorcycle and only to be used as such. I used mine as a ram once and it was pretty ineffective. It only left a small bump on the guy's cars, but it totaled me and my bike. This reminded me of the time my mom told me to break an old fence down when I was little, but I also wanted to ride my bike. So the obvious answer was to ride the bike into the fence at full speed. Broke the front wheel and handlebars and smashed my nutsack into the handlebar stem. Fence held its ground. Ground held its fence. Warning signs next to large waterfalls, cliffs, any other potentially lethal terrain. Sometimes I can understand at one of our old vacation spots there was a cliff that you couldn't see until it was too late. Popular hiking trail. Bolton Street probably deserves the signs too. Doesn't look like much, but is actually extremely dangerous. As in, if you've fallen, you probably just die. Holy it, I just looked you all that river out of curiosity. Now I'm afraid I might accidentally fall into the street despite me living in Germany. The word ambulance written in reverse on an ambulance. For those people that don't realize that the huge vehicle behind them, with the flashing lights and siren is, in fact, an ambulance. So that's what those are. Well, seems like I'm the reason the death rates in ambulances are so high in my area. He'll not sell any ice creams driving like that. This joker behind me wants to race. Gluten-free unbottled water. Fun fact, many shampoos and body washes contain gluten and will make people, like my mother with celiac edit, as well as other issues relating to gluten and other health issues I'm not getting into, break out. Sadly these labels are necessary, because it's in a ridiculous amount of it. It sounds crazy, but it might mean it's not filtered out in online shopping. Some things you would never expect to have gluten in them do. As the world moves away from plastic straws and look for biodegradable options, some actually have wheat in them. I've had customers who this took by surprise and now they have to check everything. It may sound ridiculous, but there are actually genuine reasons for it. Dated a girl who had a gluten intolerance. But it's no joke. Felt bad for her when it came to that. Couldn't eat anything unless it was certified gluten-free. She'd be sick for a day or two if any gluten was ingested. What drives me nuts is people think allergies are always swelled up, can't breathe, throat closing when it can be full body aches and migraines and digestive misery too. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and leave a comment which story you liked the most. Subscribe and hit the bell notification for updates on our latest videos. And don't forget to check the links in the description box for more awesome content.